Let this be the final nail in the coffin that proves best of ones have no place at the major. The first day of the Starladder Budapest major has been wild, and at first I wasn't even going to make a video today because, as I've talked about before, it's Thanksgiving here in the US and I've been busy with a bunch of other stuff going on. But after Daps, yes, Daps led NRG to a 2-0 berth, beating FaZe Clan in the process in embarrassing fashion, I knew I at least had to make some comment ahead of the main Stage 1 recap, and that's what this video is going to be. This is a very straightforward reaction to the results, much more stripped back than my usual content. We're gonna yap for about 12 to 15 minutes and then move on to tomorrow's shenanigans. North America reigns supreme after day 1. FlyQuest once again go 2-0 in a major stage. The question is, will they finally win a best of 3 for once in their fucking lives? It's been upset city, the pick'ems are already dead and buried. My name is LionHeartZ. Let's go ahead and get the fuck going with the video. If you guys enjoy this kind of content, you can show me leaving a like, leave a comment down below, subscribe to the channel if you're not already. Help me at 10K subs by the end of the year. Follow me on Twitch at TVSLionHeartZ, I stream every single day at 7:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, so do me a solid and come check me out there. Now, any further ado, let's go ahead and thank today's sponsor. This video is sponsored by SkinsMonkey, a CS2 trading website. You put in the skins that you want to trade, you select what you want, you use my code LionHeartZ for up to $5 off, or click the top link in the description, and boom, new drip.
Nice.
You can also use my code for a 35% deposit bonus if you want to buy with real money. And they have a free section with cool giveaways. So check the top link in the description, use my code to buy 15 Dragon Lores to let them know I sent you their way, and thank you to SkinsMonkey for sponsoring this video. Also, hey, adding this back into the beginning now that I finished recording this, my plan is for most of this gameplay just to come from a handful of series, so I don't have to go through 16 different demos. This is largely meant to be more of an audio-only kind of video. There's not much visual on screen to worry about, so put me on the other monitor and enjoy the content. Thank you guys again. By the way, right at the top, I have never done a video this unstructured, this loose. I'm looking for feedback on this one. If there's anything I can tweak to make these kind of reaction videos more appealing to you guys, let me know in the comments down below. Before we even get into the results, it has to be said that the first day of the major was a technical fucking dumpster fire. Starladder have stumbled, fumbled, and bumbled their way through this first day and barely got the broadcast done. There was an almost 2-hour delay where the power went out in the entire goddamn stadium in the middle of FaZe's first matchup against Lin Vision. Every single stream, except bizarrely Kick, had multiple audio issues. Sometimes there would be no audio at all. Sometimes it would sound like it's the live feed from the arena with a million echoes. Other times it would be robotic and pitched down. It was overall a technical nightmare from Starladder. And at this point, I think we all have to agree, Starladder are just not good at running majors. I hope, for the sake of the broadcast and the enjoyment of the major, that this was a day 1 hiccup and things will be fine going forward. But how Starladder managed to make this many mistakes puts any and all PGL memes to shame. And I guess if you just want to put a pin in it, just throw it on top of the stack of all the issues Starladder have already caused before even the first major was played. This has been a mess, and frankly, it's embarrassing for the fact that this is supposed to be the World Championship of Counter-Strike, a celebration of the game, and Starladder has not managed to deliver that so far. Oh, and I nearly forgot, I'm glad I remembered between takes, there was also an apparent protest where people claiming to represent GameDom, who are the gambling sponsor for Imperial, were there at the event wearing shirts and signs that said "fuck Valve" for forcing Imperial to not use their gambling sponsor logo in the goddamn major. Now, at this time, it has not been confirmed whether those people really were representing GameDom or not. It could be some weird false flag operation, sure, but at the same time, it's not a good look for Imperial, for Starladder, or for Valve, and honestly, fuck them. I'm sorry, you can't have a gambling sponsor be the logo for your team. That's just not how this goes. Get fucked. Alright, here we go. Here's the plan, guys. I'm going to shotgun through all of the results, and then we'll drop back and look at a handful of the biggest narratives, okay? We start off the day with Imperial beating Rare Atom 13-11, M80 beating Bait, which was already an upset, 13-11, FlyQuest beating Legacy, yet another titanic upset, 13-10. So already in the first 3 games, Bait and Legacy, some of the most favored 3-0 pick teams, have lost their first match. So we're already through chaos. Paravision beat the Huns 13-8. That's a bit more normal. And then another shocker. NRG with Daps steamrolled NIP 13-7 on Overpass. It was frankly an embarrassing game for NIP, who, of course, if you guys know from my pick'ems, I had going out 3-0 because apparently me and Tony were smoking crack. Lesson learned. Daps had himself a fine game and honestly looked pretty good as an individual. More on that in just a minute. We then continue the insane run of upsets with Fluxo beating Gamer Legion 13-10. We return to normalcy after the 2-hour delay with Faze beating LinVision 13-5, and then an overtime thriller where Fnatic beat Red Canids 16-14. And that would be the final match of round 1 of the Swiss system before we reshuffled, rescheduled, and finished out the day with 8 more best of 3s. Before we get there though, obviously immediately pick'ems in flames for everybody. Some really notable results. Blake looked fantastic in the matchup against Bait. They had them beat for most of this game before Bait made a late second half comeback. However, Bait simply gave away too many advantages in the first half to make that comeback a reality. M80 looked sharp, well coordinated, and Lake leading from the front was a huge sign of things to come throughout the day. FlyQuest, I think, navigated the veto against Legacy excellently, as Train is one of Legacy's weakest maps. I'm not really sure why Legacy opted to play that instead of going to more of a comfort pick, but the reality is they got burned by Train's dynamics. They had a great first half CT side against the Aussies where they went up 8-4. The real round that solidified FlyQuest's win was a force buy win in the middle of the first half. That ultimately proved to be the difference maker because Legacy's T side failed to win a single full buy round and got blanked by FlyQuest 9-3, giving them the victory. Vegt put in an insane performance as the IGL. He top fragged for the server and walked away with a 25-16 scoreline and a 1.77 rating. And honestly, the most shocking result to this point in the day was NRG just flatlining NIP. Daps had a fantastic T-side on Overpass, where they managed to win 6 T-side rounds on such a CT-favored map. NIP looked discombobulated, uncoordinated, the fragging was inconsistent. Meanwhile, Exotic looked quite good in his major debut, outdoing Wrinkle with the op head-to-head just straight up. Credit to Daps in the interview afterwards, who highlighted the fact that with this weird circumstance and Nitro going out, they decided to strip down the playbook and play more defaulty and aggressive. There was no fear in Daps throughout this entire day. He would push anything, anywhere to give his teammates space, and bro, Exotic, they would clean up more often than not. And then as for Gamer Legion versus Fluxo, there's no pretty way to put it. Gamer Legion just threw this game. They had an okay first half CT side 7-5, where the fragging looked good, and they managed to stem a lot of the weird shit that Art would throw at you from the Fluxo side, but their T side was fucking abysmal. They only got 3 rounds. And Nuke is just so much more even than it used to be. It's not old Nuke where that was more expected. But what sucks the most is Hypex had this incredible first half. He had 15 kills on the CT side. He was fragging out of control. He ends the game going 25-13 with a 1.70 rating. The next best player was PR, who went 12-17 with a 0.82. He got abandoned by his team in the second half. It was embarrassing. Everything else through the first round Swiss was a lot more what you expected. Red Canids probably should have beat Fnatic. BlameF had a terrible game going 13-15, but the rest of the team around him really picked up. Crims had himself a fantastic second half and overtime, ending the game with 21 kills, 10 deaths, and 1.35 rating, but literally all 4 other players of Fnatic had 21 or 22 kills. BlameF was the only player who lagged behind. That just fragging support from the entire team is wonderful to see from a team that more often than not has to rely on BlameF to get them over the line. It also saved my 0-3 prediction on Red Canids, at least for now. Foreshadowing. We reshuffle, all the players eat a banana or whatever they do between games, hit the vape, whatever you gotta do, you know, get yourself a fucking Zin. Anyways, once they're ready to go, we saw a lot more normal results. We had Legacy beating Rare Atom 13-6, FlyQuest took care of Imperial, no problem, 13-6 as well. Bait bounced back with an albeit close win against the Huns 13-11, where this came down to literally the last couple rounds of the game, where the Huns on the CT side of Ancient managed to tank their economy at the worst possible time, and Bait managed to find enough of themselves to not throw this game. Bait should never have been challenged by a team like Huns, but they really struggled with their overall form and cohesion throughout the day. Unfortunately, after this, the wheels are going to fly off the fucking train for the rest of the day. Red Canids smoked Gamer Legion 13-6, meaning that Red Canids now not only don't go 0-3, rip my fucking pick'ems, Gamer Legion fall to 0-2, who I have going through 2-1. Gamer Legion just look awful in this matchup in a way that's very scary, because Gamer Legion should be one of the best teams in this stage of the major by firepower, skill, depth, anything you can measure, and they showed up to the fucking major Best of ones are a demon curse, and they put up a lemon, man. And this is the problem with best of ones, because if you play bad out at the first game, you don't have an entire day to reset, refocus, and scout your next opponent. You have to play the next best of 3 within 5 to 6 hours. So if you're already having a bad funk, you're very likely to continue that into the second day. This is why this format sucks. Shout out to M80 though, who took out Jame and company 13-9 against Paravision. M80 once again just looked so good today, and really this is the other side of the coin of the double best of ones. If you start off with a first game really big win, that gives you a lot of momentum. And all the credit in the world to Lake, who has always struggled in international competition since breaking out with M80, who so far through both of these first games for his team was definitively their best player and showed it in the server. That is just frankly awesome to see. I got a lot of flack for taking M80 to make it through this stage, but frankly they're more than good enough to do it if all their talent shows up as they've shown thus far. After shitting the bed entirely against NRG, NIP bounced back with a 13-2 stomp into Lin Vision. It was nice to see NIP show some of the promise that I put the faith in them so much for that 3-0 pick, albeit a little too late for the sake of my pick'ems. We then returned to hell with Fnatic losing to Fluxo 13-9. BlameF made up for lost time from his bad first game in the morning. He was 25-16, the best player in the server, 1.61 rating. Jambo was not that far behind, going 19-14. Every other player on Fnatic who did so well in that opening series was terrible. Jacasmo 6-14, Fear 10-15, Crims 12-15. Meanwhile, they were getting smurfed on by fucking Art, who is of course one of the worst IGLs to watch in all of Counter-Strike, in my humble opinion. I hate watching Art, and I hate even more when they win. I'm just gonna be honest. And then the thumbnail, the title of the video, the reason you're here, the final match of the day. While I was streaming Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, FaZe lost to NRG on Dust 2. They lost to fucking Daps on Dust 2. Where do we even start? Daps called a fantastic game. Exotic cucked Brokey so hard that he's so far into the cuck corner in the cuck chair that you can no longer see him in the cuck matrix, which is of course distressing to see. Brokey put up a classic Brokey terrorism performance, going 8-15 with a 0.63 rating. That's great, love that. Jacob was the top frag, which, now shout out to Jacob for actually having a good game. Unfortunately, when Jacob's having a good game and Frozen isn't, and Twist is only having an okay one, and Brokey is doing nothing, then FaZe are gonna lose. And there is no joy in this world. I just want to take a second and just acknowledge that a lot of other pundits, content creators, analysts, people you know in the scene, everyone's seen the Statmeister tweet that I wasn't included in, but don't worry, I'll be there for stage 2. Shout out to Statsmeister for that one. A lot of people picked FaZe to go 3-0. I just have to ask you guys, and this is not meant to be any shade whatsoever, but are we watching the same games? Like, I don't know what in FaZe Clan could have inspired you guys at all in the last 3 months that FaZe, walking into best of ones, would find a way to go through 3-0 into the next stage. It was never going to happen. Not even on my most psychotic day would I have considered FaZe to go 3-0. But even then, FaZe losing to NRG with Daps playing instead of Nitro hurts me physically in a way that I can barely put into words. FaZe, the gift that keeps on giving if it means stomach ulcers and more of a migraine onto your boy. So that is the carnage after day 1 of the major. Here's the lay of the land. Tomorrow in the 2-0 bracket, we have FlyQuest taking on Fluxo. Now FlyQuest multiple times in recent memory have gone 2-0 in a Swiss stage, only to go 2-3 and get eliminated. Can they beat Fluxo and dominate Art and finally make it to the second stage of the major without pissing themselves? I really hope they can. I hope they can break the curse. And then an NA team is guaranteed to go 3-0, M80 or NRG. I'm taking M80 to win that game just because Daps has to be stopped from his ruinous run of pick'ems destroying at some point. And then in the middle of the bracket, the teams just fighting to stay alive. We have Legacy taking on Red Canids. Legacy should win that game. Bait versus Paravision. With the way the Bait have played so far, I am taking Jame and company to win that game. FaZe against NIP. NIP, my 3-0 dream, vanquished forever. Will they be able to beat FaZe? The way FaZe are playing right now, I don't know. FaZe could 2-0 the series, get 2-0'd, win 2-1, lose 2-1. I have no idea. FaZe are impossible to predict at the current point in time. If Twist and Frozen show up, then NIP shouldn't be able to compete. But will they? I have no idea. And then Fnatic versus Imperial rounding out the 1-1 bracket. Fnatic should win this series, and I think it will go to 3 maps because Fnatic love to throw occasionally. In the 0-2 bracket, we have the Huns taking on Lin Vision and Gamer Legion versus Rare Atom. And the way Gamer Legion are playing right now, I think they are likely to get 0-3'd tomorrow. If they don't show up, PR, Res, and Hypex, they will get bopped by Rare Atom, despite the fact that Rare Atom are not much of a good team in their own regards. And then the Huns versus Lin Vision, hopefully I can get one pick right in this goddamn Hell Matrix pick'ems, because Lin Vision should be able to beat the Huns. They've done a lot domestically, now do it here at the Major. Give me one correct pick, please, oh please God. And with that, that is the end of this reaction recap. If you guys enjoyed this weird new format, let me know in the comments down below. I'm mainly doing this so I don't have to cover 16 best of ones in the stage 1 recap proper, which will be out at the end of this week when stage 1 is done. Putting this all here into one quick and dirty video just saves me that trouble for future me. But if you guys like it and want to see it for the rest of the Major, I'll continue to do it. If you guys like these more kind of laid back, stripped back reactions, give me feedback and I'll continue to improve that format. Make sure you guys leave a like, leave a comment down below, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, help me take care of by the end of the year. Thank you to my channel members, JesseTiv, Milan Berta, Bubblesj, Dr. Cocktor, Patatas Kaftesi, PTV, RBO, Cody Foxworthy, JesseTiv, I'm Flashback, So Me Right, Rowdy, LBKcs, Snax Enjoyer, Crunchywater, zerotwocs, drudenae, chron, Gano, Zyro, Devvrat Singh, Clyde Mead, AlexF, and ZSabre. When we become a channel member, just the link, just like this, let's discuss more on the community Discord. See you guys soon in another video. Peace.